you ready for this?
Gonna be fun.
You will not stand in my way.
Frostborn. Hunger. This pleases me.
I do not fear you, mortal.
Your soul shall be mine.
Don't make me laugh.
Needs a brew? Oh, I do. Feel a shredding, baby. Let the battle begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 82nd episode of the Nexus Trolls podcast. I am your host, GOONHOTS, and as always, I am joined today by Soken and Aurumis. What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
How's your guys' week been so far?
Mine has sucked ass. I will say that right now. I don't know. My Hero League experience, which we'll get to later, just really like demoralized me pretty hard. So
feels bad. Why?
Doing all right.
Okay, never mind.
We'll get to it. We'll get to
all
it.
All right. What about you, Aurumis?
I've been doing all right. Got up another 1,000 points today, so it's looking good. Just getting ready for exams next week again, and we'll see how it goes.
Right on. Cool. Yeah, I've been working. Got a job at UPS, and I gotta get up super early in the morning to like unload trailers, load up trucks, and send the drivers out with their stuff. And my body aches. I'm tired, but we're here because
getting that workout, baby.
Getting that workout, dude. Look at these muscles. Look at these muscles. Actually, like my biceps and like forearms and my knee, everything's like bruised up from all the lifting, from the boxes like landing on me and stuff. But
oh no,
yeah, that's what it's from.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyways, we're here because we love Heroes of the Storm, and there's some good stuff to talk about today. But before we get started, I do want to mention Patreon real fast. If you want to support the show, you like the content that we produce as the Nexus Trolls, or what the rest of the Trolls GG network produces as well, feel free to go to patreon.com/trollsgg. Donate a couple bucks there if you want. There are some goals that we're working towards, but you can see it all there on the website. And our most recent chieftain from I think a week ago at this point is Preston. Thank you very much for your support. Much appreciated. And for this week's Troll of the Week, that little sound, I love it. That little music. Our Troll of the Week this week is Cat Peach. GG. You can follow her on Twitter at Cat Peach. GG, CAT, Peach, as in the fruit, GG. She casted Bush League last week, or I'm sorry, on Monday for us. She stepped in last minute there and filled in for Soken and I. Very much appreciated Cat Peach. She also cast Heroes Hype stuff, and I'm sure Open Division as well. She's part of the Heroes Hype community there. Pretty cool person. And she was on the Gank Squad podcast yesterday as well. It was a pretty cool show as well. But yeah, that's our Troll of the Week. Anyways, let's go ahead and get right into the news. If this bumper decides to play, and I don't think it wants to play, and that's okay. Whatever. Anyways, news real fast. Like I said, Bush League was on Monday. We are in the playoffs right now. They're in full swing. Tower Baron Squared moves past Team 4. They 2-0'd Team 4 on Monday. By the way, the playoffs are best of threes. Next week, it will be FTBRG versus Please Don't Ban Diablo, another best of 3 series. And then the week after will be the finals, which I think is a best of 5, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, RIP Team 4. Rest in peace. Thanks for playing, guys. Better luck next season. Maybe
hey, real quick.
Yeah.
Tower Baron put together a I think it was like a highlight video for Bush League, like the top 10 plays or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to see that for the Bush League, it's from multiple different casters' perspectives across the weeks. You can go to the Gank Squad YouTube, and it will be there.
It's funny. It's the top 10 plays, but from what it looked like to me, it was the top 10 fails of.
It kind of did, yeah.
It kind of turned out being the top 10 fails, right?
I think that's his goal, though. Like, he wants to do all the funny. Like,
Okay, all right. I mean, hey, if that's the top 10 play, top 10 most memorable plays, then
yeah, pretty much.
cool. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But anyways, so I don't know why. I feel like my OBS is just like completely broken. But anyways, yeah. So that's Bush League. Every Monday night starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 weeks left, and there's going to be a short, brief rest period before we get the next season started, and then we'll keep going from there. If you're a listener of the Trolls, of anything Trolls.gg or Gang Push Squad, feel free to sign up and join the fun. It's a good time. I enjoy being a part of it. All right.
Pretty excited for next season.
Yeah. All right, cool. So next, the Con Before the Storm has been funded. That's happening on November 1st, the day before BlizzCon starts, right, if I'm not mistaken. It's free to the public, or you can go, show up, say hi, support the community. Even if you're not going to BlizzCon, you can still go to Con Before the Storm and partake in the festivities there. And in HGC news, real fast, the Mid-Season Brawl, we covered this last week. The Mid-Season Brawl is going to be played on the Lunara patch, the Diablo Lunara patch, with Lightning Breath enabled now. Before it was disabled. They disabled it because there was a bug with it. And then just a couple days ago, Tuesday, they were like, oh, by the way, it's re-enabled because we fixed it. There was a hot fix associated with the patch. What do you guys think about that?
I'm glad they fixed it. Definitely. Like it was a pretty big problem both in Hero League, and obviously it would have been a huge problem in competitive play. And like disabling such an important talent on a hero that was just reworked before a major tournament would have looked pretty bad. I think they should have just fixed it in the first place without ever saying it was disabled. But I think the little community uproar that happened after they said that kind of like sparked them to fix it, which I think is good. Like I think for the state of the game and for the state of like competitive, fixing a really like what was meta tank and what could still be a meta tank after his rework, making sure he can be played to his fullest extent is going to be super important for MSB. So I'm excited to see him played now and having all his options open.
Yeah, like people that are dedicated to the game, you know, when Diablo first came out, dead hero, he has 41% win rate, whatever. They didn't even really give Diablo a chance, and like a big part of knowing if a rework is successful is seeing how the pros play him. Yeah, because they are the ones that are literally analyzing everything. I mean, you and I, not you and I literally, but you know what I mean. Like I'm some casual player, or maybe even a little more technical. I go analyze Diablo, and there's some things I'm not going to see because I'm not pushing that hero to its absolute limits, and I think that this was necessary, honestly, because I mean, if you already saw what happened, he got buffed anyway. Yeah. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I think it's absolutely necessary that he was available. So I'm really happy. Thank you, Blizzard. Thank you so much.
Yeah, as a viewer, I'm pretty excited because we get to see potentially get to see some interesting Diablo. We see some Diablo play. We get to see how the pros play him. However, you've had pros scrimming with Diablo consistently up until the point. And for those that don't know, scrimming is like practicing with other HGC team, like doing practice games. They've been scrimming with Diablo on a consistent basis, and then Blizzard says, "Oh, by the way, we've banned Lightning Breath," which is the talent that a lot of people were taking, that everybody was taking, honestly. And then people stopped playing him. And then on Tuesday, hey, we fixed it. So do we go back and play with Diablo, or do we just say screw it? We'll let him we're fine. Either we'll pick him up again, or maybe we won't play with him because we haven't practiced with him. It could be very. I'm sure it's very frustrating to the players. They got debated quite.
They've got to be
hard.
So stressed, man. Like I'm an engineer and I like things to be organized in terms of like when I'm working on them and stuff. And so like I can see a pro player, right? They're preparing and they're putting all this effort in preparing, and then all of a sudden, oh, you can't play Diablo. Okay, scratch that off the list of like, strategies, whatever we were thinking. Then you don't practice that, and then they re-enable it. I mean, that could be game changing, right? If you haven't practiced strat and then all of a sudden it's available again.
Yeah, I mean, you might have just scrapped a whole strat because.
Yeah, maybe you didn't play with it that much, right? You played a little bit, and then it got banned, and then I don't know. So, oh man, I hope I see it. I want to see it still. I'm hoping that because they brought it back, that people will still be scrimming with it now. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think most people are past the boot camp phase because I think that was like last week and this early week. Yeah. So I think the boot camps are over. So I mean, they're not really. I mean, they're practicing with each other. They're still
boot camp.
Well, yeah. I mean, I saw a bunch of pictures today on Twitter of like people showing up to the facilities for like all the practice rooms. So, I mean, they're gonna be scrimming pretty hard. I think like up until when everything starts. So there'll be ample time to like throw a pocket Diablo in there. I'm sure.
I mean, yeah, but that's like a week and a half less time played.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure people are gonna be ready because like if there's one team that has it, like you want to be ready to play against it for the one team that was like practicing with it just in case. Like right now, people are probably just filling up their games with Diablo, like anticipating it coming to see how to both play against it and how to play with it.
Yeah. I'm interested. I obviously will never know these things, but I'm interested who just straight up scrapped it and who straight up was like, okay, we'll practice it just in case type of thing.
Who said and who said like we're running APOC anyways.
Yeah. I mean, charge build, Q build.
I mean, I think the charge build is still pretty cool.
I don't think it's bad. But let's get to that. We got more to talk about for that.
Yeah, but all right, cool. Anyways. In other news, Blizzard announced today, I believe, that they're doing a bonus XP event for the duration. Well, I don't know if it's for the duration of the Echoes of Alterac Valley event that's going on. However, it's a 50% bonus XP increase if you're playing with a friend in any of the game modes. All you need is one friend. I think this is cool. It allows people that are like, oh, hey, look, Alterac passed. This map is Warcraft stuff. I'm going to level up and get some loot boxes. However, why couldn't they do this during Nexomania, man? I wanted this during Nexomania so I can level up my heroes and get and have a chance to get some cool loot, some cool stuff out of these boxes. I know why they're doing it. Well, this is my tinfoil hat, right? They're doing it because it's like WoW related, and people from like that don't really play HOTS but will play WoW or invest in Warcraft. They're gonna come and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play, and yeah, this is great. I love it. I can get the skins super fast. I don't care about Nexomania. I want WoW stuff. That's what I want. So I think that's why they're doing it. But
no, 100%. I mean, like. Yeah, I agree. The thing is, in general, I don't think they do events like this enough anymore, where they're just like, hey, let's just give you bonus XP, right? I mean, regardless of if you're a casual player or you're playing every day or whatever, it's nice. It definitely incentivizes you. I don't know. Maybe it's because of 2.0. Maybe it's because of the 2.0 thing. They don't want to give too many loot boxes away for free, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, plus 50%? Plus 50%. So you're basically getting half of whatever you make. Let's say you get 300,000 or 200,000, you're getting 100,000 extra XP. That's
for
really
a month.
Nice.
Yeah, it's June 12th all the way to July 9th, and like over 4th of July. Yeah, especially over 4th of July weekend. Like, there's be a lot of players. Maybe we'll see some team league pickup in that time, which I'm pretty excited for. You never know if there'll be a couple team league games say like, hey, we'll play with your friends. You get the extra team league XP. Like, you could really level up some heroes super quick in team league. This upcoming week. So if you're looking to get a couple skins or bust out some shards, like this month starting next week is going to be the time to do it. So get ready.
And excuse me, that stacks with your like if you have a stim pack, right? So you get 50% from the stim pack and then another 50% from the event. So rip Nexomania, maybe next year, right? No,
well, the whole event was a little weird in general, as we talked about before, with the mixing in the summer event and
the sun's out, guns out.
Yeah. So and it is what it is at this point, pretty much.
Yeah, but well, and that's pretty much that aspect. There is one more bit of news. They announced obviously the Echoes of Alterac, the event. It's a map based on Alterac Pass, I guess, which is kind of like a Alterac Valley type of deal. And they also announced a new hero, Jorel, which is a warrior. She is a Draenei paladin. I don't know a whole lot about World of Warcraft, to be quite honest. But what do you guys think about? Have you guys played the PTR at all? And
I have not played yet. But I've been watching a lot. Of it.
Aurumis, what do you think about? Let's talk about the hero. Actually, yeah, let's talk about the hero. Let's talk about Jorel. What do you think about her?
I think she's awesome. I really like the difference in play style with having to charge up all of your abilities.
Yeah,
it's pretty interesting, like the way you have to play, because you want to play her pretty aggressive because she has like a bunch of sustain, bunch of displacement, bunch of movement, but you also need to kind of really be careful, because if you play her too aggressively and you're not like managing cooldowns, then you're gonna get interrupted all the time, and it's really gonna ruin your day. So I think like the skill cap for that hero is significantly higher, I think, than a lot of other heroes, just because like if you're properly managing the enemy team's cooldown so you don't get interrupted, you're using yours at the right time, like making sure you're giving yourself space to charge it up, get the maximum value out of each ability every time you use it, she could be a deadly force. I think seeing her at a high level play is gonna be really cool, and I think at low levels, like, she could still cause some trouble. She's really good at just like wreaking havoc.
Yeah, she'll just sit there. She'll just sit there in the back line, just like charging, jumping, like healing. Well, like you just can't kill her sometimes. It seems like.
But I feel like you could just ignore her and then just kill everybody else, and possibly, she can't do anything.
She does a fair amount of damage. Like, she does a surprising amount. Like,
and an AoE stun. And an AoE stun. That's pretty significant too.
It's like ignoring a murder in your backline. You're not gonna do it because 1 second later your backline's gonna be like, "Wow, I'm like, help me." She could do a bit of work. Like, you'll be surprised in like the right hands, if she's ignored, she could definitely like one-on-one a backline and take them out. I'm excited.
I'm on the other side of that fence, dude. I with the amount of displacement and CC that is currently in the meta, it's going to be hard to get any value of charging your abilities unless you're using it with your trait, right? You know, you use your trait, you press D, and then instead of charging up your next ability, it casts the full, it casts the next ability instantly as if you had charged it up.
You know what's funny? Like, okay, so just a real quick thing. You know, with all the power creep of mobility in the game from the Overwatch heroes, it's actually super funny now that like every new character that gets introduced, they have to address how the character does into high mobility. So like, what was it? I don't remember Maya. I think she was like counter high mobility, and then Jorel is like counters, or high mobility counters her or something. It's like you're basically just saying, Genji, don't like choose her into Genji Tracer. Like,
yeah.
At this point.
She's got some neat little tools in her kit. I like how she can heal her allies, or like kind of pseudo soft cleanse them, or grant armor. Yeah. Like, that's really cool. I just don't see where that's gonna be very viable. Like, can she be a main tank? Yeah, she can eat a lot of damage. She can sustain through a lot of damage. But how is she controlling the fight? Can she be a bruiser? Okay, well, let's compare her to Tyrael then, because that's a very similar hero to her. Tyrael has, she has a worse sanctification.
Worse? You think so?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot worse. 100% worse. And
observing damage, all damage taking and healing for 50%. You think that's worse than like
just you?
It's just you.
Not your allies.
It's not your allies. And then the AOE on the ground, it's just you. It's not your allies.
I think her shield ult is the way to go. I want to try to find a place to fit her in. Like, I feel like that's been like the main trouble I've been seeing is like. Yeah. In the solo lane, it's like you could pick like a Sonya.
Her wave clear is bad.
I feel like some other people could do better in the solo lane, but I think where she's gonna strive, and what people aren't thinking, is like, because she can disrupt so much stuff and wreak so much havoc, is partnering her with one of those squishy assassins, partnering her with like a Rainer after he's reworked, or Vala, some of the heroes you don't see as often,
I put that in the solo lane, like a two whatever.
Well, no, you'll keep your solo lane like as normal. Like throw a Phoenix in the solo lane. He's super good right now. Throw a Malthael there, like normal solo lane, but have like a extra bruiser in the 4-man, so you can run like a main tank, a support, like your Jorel, and then a really squishy assassin that you normally don't see, because she can kind of help enable that assassin. Because like a big job of like bruisers and tanks isn't to like deal damage or CC. It's to create space for your backline to deal damage. I mean, if you're creating the proper amount of space so that your backline both is open to deal damage and doesn't take as much because of what you're doing, then you're doing your job. And I mean, I think Jorel is going to be really good at creating that space for a backliner like that, so that you can kind of get more value to them. Kind of like how like a Tassadar enabled through shields and just being able to play aggressively. I think Jorel will be able to enable a similar hero by creating space and just allowing them a lot of area to like move around, like a lot of area to help dodge skill shots, and just to be worried less about stepping up and dealing damage. I think in comps like that is where she'll excel right now.
Yeah.
Again, this is one of those things I just brought up, right? You kind of want to see what the pros do.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can see what they do, but I also kind of feel like if she's gonna play that off tank, right? If that's what her role is gonna be, okay, who's gonna be in your solo lane at that point? And I have already been of this mindset that more and more ranged heroes will be in the solo lane.
What a Greymane or Phoenix in there?
A Greymane, a Phoenix, and then even recently now we'll talk about this in the next segment, but like Zagara.
Yeah.
I mean, Lunara, with her most recent rework, it can effectively solo lane.
So you used to talk about I told you about like putting Tychus in the solo lane if they have like a big bruiser, like go melt them. You can't handle it.
Yeah, you can do that, and I think we're gonna. Is it viable? Is it the most effective tactic available? Or not, and we'll see. Maybe I think she's gonna need some number tweaks though. I want to see some more. I want to see some more damage coming out of her, especially out of her auto attacks. She's swinging a big hammer. Deal some auto attack damage there. But
it's
anyway.
like with Deckard Cain's giant staff, like 90.
But you know what's funny? So Ishbu just posted like a day or two ago. He posted about Jorel. And he was like, I actually think the hero is fine in terms of damage, in terms of wave clear, in terms of abilities. Mm-hmm. I just think the talents are bad. He's like, I don't think the talents are good. The talent tree is good. So check out his Twitter or Twitlong or whatever it is if you want to read.
It was a Hero's Hearth blog.
Oh, was it?
Blog
okay,
post. Yeah. So like her talents. She, like I said, she can cleanse, she can heal people, she can grant armor to allies after she's jumped in. So for me, that says like, okay, I can heal somebody, I can maybe heal my warrior. If we're both in the front line together, I can heal my warrior with my trait, and then CC or create more space, whatever. Or I can heal my squishy backliner. I can cleanse my warrior. I can cleanse my squishy backliner. And then the armor one is like, my team is going in, I'm going in after them with this charge. So I'm charging up in the back, they slide or they jump in, I jump in and grant the armor, and then we team fight. Like that is an interesting tier coming from I'm a support main. Those are all supporty talents, right? Those are all very interesting. But then like there's other talents like her auto attacks heal. Her next auto attack heals for a portion for like 100 damage, 100 HP whenever after her next basic ability or something. Like, okay, cool, I guess. Maybe I can just increase the amount of healing I get from my Q, the radius of my Q. I can increase the damage, or I can increase the damage of my auto attack, or make my auto attack splash damage after using a basic ability, but that's like a level 13 or 16. It's just a bunch of random stuff just all over the place, and I feel like there aren't very... I don't want to say there's like a defined way to play her. Like I don't like like this is the way you have to play them. But give me some real talents where I can be like, okay, I can make her an auto attack bruiser. Ooh, that would be cool. or I could make her a straight utility, healing, damage mitigation, or crowd control, or something like that, or a mix of all
I think that's the problem, right? I think that's what Ish was talking about.
Yeah. He
doesn't know what to do, right?
And like, what do you do? Okay, cool. All these abilities, my 2 heroics with Jorel, I prevent damage. I'm fighting in this arena, this little arena I make on the ground. Yeah, fight me. Yeah, cool. Or I can just heal for all the damage I take. But I mean, you can just ignore her at that point. It's not like she's gonna kill you by herself, right? You can just run by her. Oh, you see her charging.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You see her. You see her charging up her hammer. Okay, your Alarak. You just W her away, or ETC W's you away, or Junkrat hits you with a mine, or you just get hit with a random Manubrax stun, or Oriel whips you back. Or there's just so much stuff out there that just breaks her that it's really frustrating to like play. In the PT, I have not been having a lot of success with her in the PTR. I don't know if that's because of me or just because I swear the other day I played, there was an Alarak in every single one of my games.
What?
Yes, and he just kept silencing me and moving me, and like I couldn't do anything. Okay, I'm gonna hang out in the back lane. Oh, guess what? There's Tracer and Genji tearing up my back line. I can't do anything. I can't stop them. I don't think she's gonna be. I don't think she's gonna be a main tank. She's not gonna be a main tank.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, definitely not.
I didn't think so because of the sustain portion. I think of her kit. Like, there's a lot of sustain in there, a lot of healing, a lot of armor. That doesn't really speak to a main tank to me.
Yeah, but I don't know. She comes out next week on the 12th.
Real quick. Can I talk about the most triggering talent in this tree?
What is it?
Divine Steed at level 7.
Oh god,
that looks like the most triggering talent I've ever seen.
Everybody likes it, and like it's good. I get it. I like the other talent. I like being able to like haul ass while charging my hammer up, so I can just get to that front line and slam. Or
did you see? Like, I was watching McIntyre play with this.
Yeah. And
I was like, oh my god, dude, this is so annoying. There's like 3 people collapsing on you. Oh. Mount up and
yeah, I just haul ass and get out of there. Just
it's so broken, dude. I'm sorry.
See ya.
Something's wrong with this talent. They gotta remove.
No, and it's funny is because like they said they removed it because they felt like it didn't do anything. If you read the blog post,
I know I saw that, and I don't know that I agree with that idea of.
Oh, we brought it back because people liked it.
I mean, that's great. I'm glad you're listening to feedback. Thank you. That's one of the things we love about Blizzard, but. I'm sorry, but I don't think this is a good talent just to keep. I think this is a troll talent, or it's multiple things. It's a trap talent, it's a troll talent, and it's just something that will trigger people. Like,
you think it's a trap talent? You think it's a trap talent?
I do. I think almost everything in here is on this level is better.
Like
almost everything is better.
I want to agree with you because I like the way the other talents are more interesting. And then there's that one where you just like you press Z and then there's no wind up, you just go boop and that's it. Like, oh, you can close the gap or you can run away, but
I don't know, man. We're gonna see, right? We're gonna see, but I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm gonna make a Smurf and pick it in every one of your games, Soken, and then just like constantly farm you with it.
Just for all the Smurf names called Divine Steed.
Yeah,
Divine Steed.
My challenge for the week is just keep me farm.
Oh god,
on a Smurf called Divine Steed.
Oh my god, no! Please, no one give him that challenge.
Yeah. Anyways, she comes out next week on the 12th, which is a week earlier from the release of Alterac Pass, which comes out on the 19th. And if you guys haven't seen, Alterac Pass is the new map that's coming out. It's a 3-lane map, probably about the size of maybe Sky Temple. A little bit smaller than Curse Hollow. It's got that Curse Hollow layout, but it's smaller, I would say, by a little bit. Yeah. Or maybe it's the same size. I don't know. It's
no, it's not. It's not. It's deceivingly small. Deceivingly small, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's a 3-lane map. The way the map works out, there's no cores. You don't have a core. You have 2 generals on either side of the map that don't have a shield. They just regenerate health pretty quickly. And the way you deal damage to them is by taking out enemy structures, specifically their keeps. when you kill a keep, you reduce their armor by 20%. So they start off at 60 armor. Each keep you kill reduces it by 20 down to 0. And then you can attack and then you can like pretty much one-shot the guy, but we'll get into that in a second. And then the objective is you fight over these camps in the middle of the map, like the top half and the bottom half of the map in the middle. Each side has a camp, a prisoner that they have to like try to release from the enemy's camp. And then when you finally win that objective, these like minions, I guess like Tomb of the Spider Queen style, push lanes. However, if you really want to get true value out of those minions, you have to push with them, because they increase your movement speed, and your all of your damage that you do is increased by like 25%, if I'm not mistaken.
That's really nice. I like that that modification to it, right? Because the thing on Tomb of the Spider Queen is you can kind of just get it, and then if you team fight 5v5, you're still getting massive value, push value in the other lanes. So this at least, it's like, okay, we got the objective. Let's actually make sure we do something with it, which I always think that's good for players, is for them to feel like they need to do something with an objective and not just. Otherwise, it turns into Blackheart's Bay all over again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I've got some issues with this map. It's a cool concept. I like the idea. I like the theme. It's really cool. I like the sound effects and the way things look. It's really nice. However, you can literally win one objective and get a keep off of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
What, by 5-manning it, or?
You just 5-man a lane, you get a keep. And if you're not careful, you can win the game. Or you can lose the game if you're on the other side. Yeah, I'm serious.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, it's that, like, if your wave clear's pretty bad, or they have good siege damage, like they have like that gray main or something like that, or whatever.
I think like Hanamura, it's a super cool concept and could be really fun, but definitely is going to need some number tweaking. I think the map could be really successful. I like the way the core looks. I like the way the objective plays out.
Yeah.
I think like the little like mud pits in between lanes are like super cool.
That is really cool.
It definitely invites like a lot of like really good strategy and good team fighting. I think right now it's like a little underwhelming. It's kind of like a Warhead Junction like back in the day, where you could just like run a cheese strat, end the game in like less than 10 minutes. I feel like there'll be a lot of games that are really balanced and last a long time, and then there'll be a lot of games that you can literally just go rush core and just end.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like a Dragonshire or like a Battlefield of Eternity, where like you usually have like a pretty consistent game time. I feel like it's going to be either like really like long or really short, and there's not really going to be much in between on that map, just because of the way the numbers are right now. It's got 2 weeks still in PTR to like have some testing, have some tweaking.
Yeah.
And I think they'll do a little bit of work on it in that time, and I hope they'll do a little bit more when it comes out too. But I mean, conceptually, like you were saying, it's cool. Like I think it's one of the most like aesthetically pleasing maps to play on.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. But
real quick, Goon, didn't you, when you were streaming it, weren't you saying that one of the issues you had also was the boss did like no damage?
The boss, the core
boss,
the general, like you go attack him and he's like, oh, they're attacking me, I'm gonna fight, and he starts spinning around and doing stuff, and you're just like, yeah, you're dead anyways. Like he didn't do anything. Like he didn't do anything, and he was super squishy.
Yeah,
super squishy.
You know what's funny is in our Discords that we usually hang out in, people were like, "Oh, I think they should lower the armor. I think that's too much," or something. I forget exactly what people were saying, but they were saying like
they need to give him more HP, and they need to like make him be threatening. Like
I think the regular core lightning actually does more than he does, or at least it feels like it does.
And it does splash damage, and it has the shield, and that core is tanky, right? That core is tanky. And one of the reasons Blizzard said they did this, or well, the way the map is laid out is like they want you to like, they don't want the game to end in 10 minutes. They want you to take structures and then go and prolong. That way you have a better advantage. You don't need to do that right now. First of all, the objective is way too strong. You can just pulverize a single lane with the objective, and then you can get on the boss.
Yeah.
However, like what I think they should do is like give him some more HP. All right, keep the armor. Sure, keep the armor. Maybe tune the scaling of the objective. Maybe it's like the first objective is like 10%, 15%, 20, then 20. Like do it that way maybe, and then for each keep or structure that the boss loses, he becomes enraged, so he deals more damage. So at the end, it's like, okay, if we're gonna win, we gotta make sure the enemy team is dead, or we got some huge advantage because this boss is gonna be kicking our ass.
He'll have lower health, so he'll have lower health, but he'll deal more damage, right?
Right. He'll have lower armor, but he's like enraged. So like when he starts spinning and stuff, you're like, oh, it's like the Towers of Doom boss, where like it's like, ooh, okay, this is kind of tough, you know. And instead of dealing like flat damage, maybe you do a percentage based damage, you know, like the attacks cleave and deal like 5%.
Yeah, give it leech off that too. Honestly, like you should be punished if like when your Diablo's going to tank it, like have that punish him a little bit, like make your squishy step up, have it leech off. Like, make it
feel like a boss. Make it feel like, yes, I'm actually doing this. Like that would be insane.
Dude. A lot of streams, like people aren't afraid to just rush core and fight under it. It's not like, oh, we're gonna rush core, and it's like. It's not like, oh, it's a scary core fight we might throw here. It's like, we're gonna win. Like just
hit the core.
Boss, ignore everybody else. Like this thing's gonna die in 3 seconds.
That thing dies. That thing dies to minions so fast.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
You have that merc camp that reduces armor. You have that pushing. That alone will take him down to half HP. And then like the little siege minions, whatever, will kill it by himself. And it's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, if that happened in a real game, sure, I could see that. However, when my core is dying at 12 minutes because it has one camp on it, what?
Yeah,
come on.
Maybe the minions shouldn't even get to the core. Maybe they should leave it to you get the macro advantage, right, by killing the keeps.
Do like a Towers of Doom style where when you hit the core, it just like catapults all the minions, kills them all.
Maybe. I think what they could do is like what Soken saying, like they have like that one siege guy, he kind of pushes the lane hard, he kills those minions hard, whatever.
Yeah.
And like that way that lane is constantly on their side of the map, and they have to go back and like clear it, because then what ends up happening is like they go back to clear because the lanes are pushed out, and if you actually I don't know if that's punishing enough.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I think that was the problem with the original Hanamura, was if you didn't have those catapults that killed your core, then what's the point of clearing the wave? Kind of, you can just go fight, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just have the siege, like literally just do it Towers of Doom style. Have the siege camp, like if it hits the boss, it like just deals some % damage to the boss, and then the minions disappear.
It doesn't just sit there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't just sit there and kill the whole boss. Have it like take 10%. It's like the boss heals anyway. It's like if it takes 10% and disappears, like you have a small window to like rush the boss and like finish it off, or it's gonna heal up anyway. So it's really not like a big deal. But like it at least pushing with the camp can help you open a window, but not just end the game.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Yeah. I wish that boss just did more damage to everything, because watching him sit there trying to kill a minion wave is just like does he even one shot minion waves? I don't even think he does one shot.
I don't think so.
Like the core will one shot a wave. Like those little minions will never deal real damage to the core unless like it's stacked all the way around. They'll one shot everything. But like these guys,
what do you guys think about the new mechanic they did where instead of a catapult, it's almost like a fire bat that comes down, like one big fire bat. They call it a reaver, I think, or something like that.
They already have those guys. They already reduced the armor of the.
No, not the null. I'm not talking about the null camp. I'm talking. It's a replacement for the catapults.
Yeah, I don't. What does he do? What does he do again?
He's like a tanky. He's like a super tanky frontline like new
minion.
That right. Takes place at the catapult, except he's in the front, not the back.
Yeah. He doesn't deal any. I mean, he doesn't really. He just tanks the boss.
Yeah,
while the minions while the minions are dealing the damage. But then like, that boss isn't. He's killing the boss by himself just because they're sitting there for 20 minutes beating each other up, and then the boss just ends up dying. I don't know. It just doesn't feel very satisfying.
I agree, but they're gonna definitely modify it, I think, at this point.
Yeah. The mud pits. I like the mud pits a lot on that map. You can't. So if you stay in it for very long, if you just stand in it, and just keep standing in it and then try to move, you're going to move so slow. However, if you
Yeah.
just walk by, you're going to be fine. I think that's cool. It keeps some laners safe, you know. Oh, they got slowed by a small percentage. Maybe I can get away, maybe not. And also, it you can like keep people like CC'd in it. So when they do finally are able to like break all of your team CC, they're still slow.
Oh my
I
God.
wonder how much value Lunar is going to get from those pits from unfair advantage. But I know people.
And being able to get vision with Wisp, oh,
Yeah.
that's punishing.
Schizo was saying the mud pits. How do you feel with the mud pits on this map after everyone complained about conveyor belts? Conveyor belts and mud pits are two different things, dude.
Yeah, completely different. Completely different.
Like,
I can't control my character. I'm literally being moved in the opposite direction that I want to move. Is way more triggering than, I got caught a little extra in this slow, and maybe I died, maybe I didn't, but at least I knew that I could, control my character type of thing. That's how I feel.
And it's not like you have to go through the mud pit either. You can
True.
You can go around aggressively, or you can go around passively. The mud pit is there as like a neutral factor. But yeah, has anybody played? Oh, real quick, the mid lane is super narrow. Like it's almost like the developers, the designers were like, yeah, we don't want to see these mid fights happening. I mean, I guess you could. Whoever's controlling that bridge in the middle is going to control that mid lane pretty nicely, because now
Well,
you
if
have
you
to walk
don't go
on that
mid,
chip.
where do you go, right?
You just go into your lanes.
Just go to lane? I don't know.
Could
Is
just
that-
go
is
to
that
lanes.
boring?
I mean, yeah, like look to Gank Rotation because of how small the map is. There's so many options that you can do. I mean, I know for one, like if people want to run it down mid, I'm picking Chromie on that map every time.
Oh my god. Of course.
I was gonna
Of
stack
course.
off that. But no, but honestly, yeah, you can look to gank other lanes because like the map's really small. If you just ignore mid, you can wait a couple extra seconds to like gank a rotation and then still make it back into the lane before you miss any soak because of how small it is.
Yeah.
You can look to like cheese a tower down real quick. You could just split off into your lanes as normal. Like, given how small the map is and how it's structured, there's a lot of open options for like what you could do other than mid fight, or you could take it. Like honestly, you could look to pick heroes like Chromie, like Kel'Thuzad,
Maybe
like
Stitches or something like that.
yeah, like Jaina, like Stitches, like anybody that has like a level 1 quest that involves you like dealing damage or hitting people. Because you'll be able to stack those quests pretty quickly in the mid lane, and I think you'll see a lot of heroes that have quests like that, like primarily the mages being picked to try and get those early quest results and like escalate the games quickly.
Yeah, true. But all right, let's go ahead and move on here. Let's move on to Trolling the Nexus. Let's see if this will play.
We're gonna have a good time.
All right, it played that time. Weird. I don't know why it didn't. But anyways, so Trolling the Nexus. Troll the Nexus is a segment where we talk about the things that are going on in the game, whether they be patches, heroes specifically, reworks, whatever the case may be. But for this segment, we're going to talk about the new patch that dropped. I know the PTR had some of this patch on it, but Blizzard released this yesterday, right? And the patch brought some interesting changes. Some of the biggest ones, aside from the obvious hero tweaks, was baseline armor was removed from the warriors, and the way the amount of XP that you get from some of the structures was also changed. So look at the patch notes real quick. What do you guys think about the baseline armor removal from the heroes, from the warriors?
You can go first, Armis.
All right, I think it's weird. I really liked how some of the warriors played out. Like you knew to pick like Johanna against like auto attack compositions, things like that. I think taking that away really makes the warriors a little bit weird now. Like they gave them all like baseline buffs. Like you put noobs HP up, like they increased their health regen. A couple of them had like talents now that give you some armor. Like for a noob rack, his hardened carapace like gives him the extra 40 spell armor while active. Like you could get a lot of these different armors, like get armor back in different ways. Like for Arthas, his rhyme talent, like it increases his physical armor bonus now because his baseline was removed, things like that. But I like it because I feel like a lot of tanks are going to be more viable in like multiple different situations. Like you might see more noob, not just only seeing him against a Li Ming. But I also dislike it because I feel like there's a couple warriors that are going to stand out as really strong, and a couple of those niche pick warriors won't really be seen at all now. Like,
Which is the problem they had before, right? That's
yeah,
like,
that's
the
why
issue before.
they put this in there to get rid of that issue, and it began to, and now they're taking it back and like essentially just bringing the issue back and hoping that buffing all the warriors going to do that. But I mean, like, if you're going to do that, they just need to buff the warrior, like consistently keep tweaking the warriors that are underperforming. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
if they do that, it'll be okay.
I mean, you say, you know, you remove that armor, it removes that niche, I guess, so to speak. I mean, you look at the kits, though, some of these, like, for example, Johanna. She's got a blind, right? What's good against blinds? Or what are blinds good against? Auto attack, right? I mean, do you really need that physical armor at that point? Like, is Johanna taking a lot of damage from auto attackers anyways? I guess you could say no, maybe yes, but
I mean, yeah, like you're not the blinds don't last forever, and like if you look, like most damage in the game, like you're dealing so much from auto attacks. Like Greymane can still punish her. Like you could just wait out the blind, like jump in there, and now you can really hurt her. Like yeah, her passive, like level 1, her D, like her armor bonus is increased to 75 now. So like when she activates that, she's like almost invulnerable, which is awesome. But when that's down and when her blind's down, she's super open at this point. So I want to see how it plays out. Like, I think the health buff and the health regen buff is going to be pretty big, and it's going to bring some big changes. But I want to see how these heroes fare, like, apart from their talents. Or, honestly, like, rework a little bit of the talents. Make the blind last an extra quarter second to, like I guess to buffer where she was nerfed. Like, let Anub'arak, like, obviously they gave spell armor to Anub'arak's W. Like, let it last, like, a little bit longer. I think it's, like, a second now. Like, give it, like, a second and a half.
yeah.
Maybe like they change these talents to where they're taking away that like baseline stat, but saying, hey, it's not baseline, but if you manage your cooldowns right, you can get just as much, if not more value than when it was baseline.
So just to clarify, this is baseline armor on heroes that, like, if you pick this hero, you got to read it in the tooltip. Like, Anub'arak has 15 spell armor, you know, whatever. They're not removing the armor that somebody like Greymane has when he goes into Worgen form, or that Cassia has in her trait, which we'll get into here in a little bit, or Cho'Gall's stuff. It's just the baseline, and I wonder how many people even knew that there was baseline armor on some of these warriors.
I was going to say that actually. That was one of the biggest criticisms of everything when they first started, because the UI was a lot worse. Was even worse than it. I mean, it's not the best right now. It could still have some improvements, but I mean, it's not bad now. It's not bad compared to what it was. It was super bad, and you couldn't tell before at all when this was implemented if they had armor or not. So you kind of just magically knew, like, you had to know, right? You had to know. You had to read the patch notes, which also back then, by the way, not on the Blizzard launcher. They did not have. When this was first implemented, they did not have the patch notes that actually were on the Blizzard launcher that you could read. Mm-hmm. So you had to go to the website.
And they're actually always there. It was hidden. If you went into options, you could always check it out.
Oh, what?
Like,
oh, yeah. No idea.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
If you click options, the first result is always patch notes, but like who really ever clicks on options when you're in the
now it's like on the launcher, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot more obvious. And I mean, you can also click C when you're in a game to pull up your character stats, and it'll tell you the armor that they have. There was a few ways to know, but like it could be commonly like ignored. Like a lot of times when I would coach people, I was like, hey, like this hero has this. And like, what? And then, I mean, a lot of that stuff isn't known. Like I feel like a lot of like key binds and like different things you can do in the game, people still don't know that they exist or how to do them. Like a few days ago, I was coaching somebody and they didn't know that like holding down Alt while you're clicking something did a ping. And like honestly, like unless somebody told you, you looked it up, like how are you gonna know these things? And I feel like that's still like obviously UI's gotten better, but like Soken said, like there's still some problems, and I think not properly expressing a lot of the things that go on, like just different key binds and actions to be able to see everything is a problem.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy that they're removing the armor. I hated like the category. I liked it, but I also kind of disliked the categorization that it forced. Like Johanna's just generally better now, I would say. Generally better.
I think a lot of the warriors, right?
Yeah.
They're just generally better. For sure, I agree. Now, that's the direction I like. And however, if you do want some of this armor back, it's tied into a mechanic that this hero has, which I think is healthy. It's fun, right? Reading what the developer comment, this is what they said. We have experimented with baseline armor on some of our heroes for some time, but we've decided to remove this functionality for now. The problem with it that we found over time is that baseline armor was difficult to communicate visually. It therefore ended up being a largely hidden power that didn't have any major changes on gameplay. So they're already saying that there was no major changes to the game. I wonder how they determined that. Maybe through win rates and stuff like that. Again, certain damage types. But going forward, we'll prefer to make armor and other mechanics that are effective against heroes and damage types more interesting when they are tied to game mechanics. So,
and I think a Nubrax change is the biggest highlight of that decision right there that they just talked about.
Yeah. And we'll get into that here in a second. Let's move on real quick to the structures. Fort tower experience was reduced in half. The towers used to give you 500 XP. Now they give you 250 XP. Those are the towers on either side of the gate. And the fort experience was increased from 1,000 to 1,200. And the keep experience was increased from 1,650 to 2,050. So real quick on that. What do you think about that, Aurumis?
I like it a lot. I think it's going to fix a big problem in EuroLeague that specialists have a higher win rate than they do in solo queue compared to competitive play. If you're removing a lot of like that early game potential by picking a specialist, you're going to see them played a little bit less, or at least the snowball effect that they have being not as prevalent. I think that's going to be really important. I think it's going to be healthy for the gameplay to like not see that in Hero League as much.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, like that's pretty much it for how I'm looking at the tower changes, because you're still getting enough if you push as a 5-man. You're getting more out of coordinated play. Like if you take a fort, you take a keep, that's where you're getting a big bonus. But if you're like, hey, I'm just gonna like cheese front walls as a specialist to get my team to level 10 quickly and snowball the game from there, that's not gonna happen as much.
Do you think maybe prioritizing soak more earlier on in the game is going to be more important than just taking those towers, or do you still think you'll cheese that front wall down and get some fort damage done?
I think you'll still cheese some of it down to like get some fort damage done, specifically just to open up like taking out the healing fountains. Like that's still going to be like a major aspect of the game, but you're not going to see like an Azmodan like run it down top, take down a tower, and now his team's going to be a talent ahead during the first half of the first objective. Like they're going to be almost hitting 7 while the other team's 6 because an Asmo lasered a wall. Like you're going to be a half level ahead, but like at least for the early game when everything's so tight, like there's often times where the team with the specialist will be level 7, just like a half level ahead before, like just enough that you're going to win an objective and like begin snowballing.
Yeah.
And that's not going to happen as much, and I feel like that's really healthy.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it from a competitive standpoint. So, like, okay, just one of the examples. Team Fnatic, they are notorious on Cursed Hollow, at least in the older team, right? They're not really the same anymore, but they were notorious for Cursed Hollow, ignore mid, 4-man push 1 lane and get 2 towers before the enemy has a chance to respond to you.
Yeah.
And the map is so big, you can't do anything about it. I mean, you're not going to be able to predict. You're just going to be able to guess and hopefully respond. So I think there's multiple avenues in which this is good. Part of it is the cheese. Part of it is the specialist cheese. Part of it is the competitive, getting these massive advantages. I kind of like it. I like it and I don't like it. I like that. I think in competitive, I don't like the change as much. I think in Hero League I like it more. Just from the uncoordinated play aspect.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it for competitive. It slows the games down a little bit, makes things more interesting, like allows for the opportunity for more interesting things to happen, I should say.
I think on the snowballing maps that's true. I think on the snowballing maps that's especially true, and kind of why it's nice.
Let's take a look at Volskaya. You win that objective. You get the first. You get the first Triglav. You get the towers down.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you get the towers down mid, and then you go top, and then you get those towers down.
Yeah.
And then you get that well. So you've gotten 2,000 XP from before. You got 2,000 XP from the towers, and you've got the well. So not only are you a level ahead at this point, you've also got the well, which means that now it's even harder, if not almost impossible, for the team the team that lost the first Triglav to get the second one, because you're behind and you don't have a well to sustain through the next objective phase.
Okay, real quick. That's a whole different discussion. Volskaya is utterly broken right now, and the Triglav needs to be nerfed a little bit.
All right. Well,
That's
same
a
thing.
whole different discussion.
It's still the same. I would still argue it's the same thing.
So it happens so much. Like, you don't know how many games. Like, even today, we're like, I'm on a game like Towers of Doom, and you just lose like top wall and bottom wall right away, and then now you've lost 2 of the 3 of the first shrine, or like the first objective phase. And then because you took a front wall, you're ahead for the next one. So then you lose the bottom one, and now you're 8 shots behind. And it's so hard to catch up.
And then they invade your sappers. They take your sappers, and then
everything I'm saying is still holding up right now from what you guys are saying. I'm saying snowbally maps, which towers is the least snowbally. So yeah, that sucks, but you can still come back in towers.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if it's prevalent in the least snowball, like, that's why I use towers as an example. It's not a very snowbally map, but it's still so prevalent. Like, I won a game where the enemy, I think it was today actually in Hero League, where we still had 36 shots left on our core because we snowballed early off of taking like 1 keep.
You get the bottom 4 and you never let them take it back. And then that's
and this is after the tower changes. Like, obviously, like, it's supposed to happen less, but like it can still happen. And I mean, a few days ago, it happened even more. Like, I can't tell you how many games I've watched of an Asmodan solo carrying, like, Towers of Doom just because he's taking towers or, like, taking front walls and snowballing a league.
I think we have a lot of issues that we're covering right now that are not necessarily related to this change.
I think it is. I think it is related to this change.
It's a good change. We all agree it's good.
You're crazy, dude. You're crazy. It's totally related, dude.
No, it's not. No
yeah,
way.
it is. Because now you're gonna get less XP from those towers. Those towers held so much experience actually in the early game. That mattered. You get those towers early. That's a nice advantage. Yeah, you could come back.
Then get good and don't let them take your freaking towers. Like, what the hell? Like, at some point, we're just gonna say, okay, everyone is equal in experience the whole game now.
No,
we don't want anyone to feel down and snowballed.
You can still you can still do it, and you can still you can still snowball. It's just not gonna happen. The game's not gonna end in 12 minutes. Now it's gonna be maybe 15.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
Because it still happens. It still happens at the higher levels of play.
It does happen, and it sucks. But that's because people suck. I'm sorry. Even in Masters, people suck.
Dude, even in pro games, dude. Even in pro games,
they suck.
Oh God.
What the hell? Are you serious?
Yo. Okay.
All right.
Anyways,
sorry.
You are going way too far. This guy, get him out of here.
I like it.
I have to defend myself. I'm getting ganged up on. I'm just kidding.
I like it. But no, I think it's I think it promotes a healthy early game. Obviously, like, the get good mechanic is always going to be there. If people play it perfectly, their games would turn out a lot different. But like, we're all human. We all make mistakes. Like, if I was perfect, I would have won all 13 of my games today. But I'm not. I lost 5 of them. Like, it's gonna happen. I'm never gonna get good. Like, that's something I accepted. But I'm always going to get better. And I mean, like, I'm looking at that, and like, obviously, like, little changes like this that'll help the early game or help reduce that get good mechanic where, like, you kind of allow for mistakes to be made and for you to not be punished and get tilted instantly off of it is gonna be a little healthier. I mean,
true. I agree. I agree with that. I agree. I'm just saying, I'm seeing a trend that I'm not necessarily sure we want to continue to go down the road.
I don't want to see 0 XP given for these towers.
I'm not even saying just for this. I'm not even saying just for this. I'm saying constant, and I'm glad they're making improvements. Don't get me wrong. I'm like not trying to.
I think
I don't want changes.
I think
know
this
that people will
change.
hear this and they'll say that.
No. I think this change was specifically to make sure that the new map that's coming out doesn't get too snowbally, which it already is. But this just kept it. This kept it more in check. I think that's what this change is for. To be quite honest, because
I'm glad there's more comeback mechanics, because especially in Plat, I don't want to get snowballed, especially.
Yeah.
Masters, at least they have the mechanics to come back, right? But in Plat, not necessarily. For players.
I see. Yeah, I agree. I see where you're coming from. I'm looking at this at like a competitive level or whatever, but yeah, it's the game can still be snowballing, and you can still come back for sure. There's always going to be that one random fight you win somehow. You're level 18, they're 23, and you somehow win, and you're like, whoa, what the heck? I'm gonna take their wall, I'm gonna take their fort, and now I'm gonna take their keep since it gives me more XP. And look at that. And now the comeback. Now instead of the comeback happening at the fort, it happens at the keep, or the keep wall. It happens at the keep. But anyways.
I'm definitely interested to see how this plays out. I'm all for it in terms of my play. My general experience will be better, I think.
Yeah. Towers of Doom, the Fort Tower experience was reduced from 500 to 250. The Fort experience also, everything's the same. However,
other than keep experience.
The keep experience. So before the keeps gave you 1900 experience. Now they give you 2050. And if you weren't sure, like you're like, hey, what are you talking about? There's only 3 forts. Well, the forts upgrade to keeps when the tunnels open around 12 minutes in the game.
Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
I actually did not know that, and now that this patch came out, I know that. I am actually that was one of the small things I didn't know.
Yeah, so that because if the forts stayed the same and there was a team that had a large advantage, it was harder to come back from. So what ended up happening was you would upgrade to keeps, and then those keeps give you more experience. It's like
but it was like everyone called them keeps because there's no forts in front of them.
Yeah.
So I always just assumed, just from people talking about it, oh, this is always a keep. That's kind of how I saw it, but
yeah,
clearly not correct.
But yeah, it would happen. It's like, oh, we're down a few shots, we're down a level. The altar spawning bottom. Ignore it. Let's just get this top keep.
Yeah, bring back the UI argument for reasons just like that. Next topic for next week.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the Raven Lord's like, I'm upgrading the forts to keep. I'm upgrading my bell towers. He says it in the game.
Yeah. He does.
Yeah, he does.
Anyways, so moving on. Let's talk about some hero changes real quick. We'll just briefly go through these. So a lot of heroes had some tweaks, and let's start off with the assassin, specifically Cassia. Her health was increased from 1660, that's at level 0, 1660 to 1840, and her health regen was decreased from 4.0 to 3.8, which I found to be a little weird. Usually they upgrade the health regen when the health pool is increased as well. And her trait no longer gives her 65 physical armor when she's moving. Now it's reduced to 40 physical armor. Now, real quick, I think she is better against all types of damage now. However, I don't know how I feel about this change. She's tankier. She can take more damage, so to speak. She regens less. But I also feel like I don't know,
I want a player.
Yeah.
I feel like 25% so much. I feel
and they're only getting 15, by the way. You're only getting, actually, I think it was 10. Sorry, I just did the calculation and then I forgot what
you're getting 10% HP, but losing 25% armor.
Yeah, exactly. So it seems a little off in terms of the buff to me.
I would like to see her be more tanky. Like, she seems like a tanky. Yeah. She's an Amazon, Like
she's a tank. She's a tank assassin by design.
I like where her HP's at now. I think if they gave maybe 5 or 10% armor back, keep it at 45 or 50, just a little bit more, I think it'll be okay. I think 65% with this much HP would be kind of broken, but I feel like if you give it back to 50, It doesn't mean to be like an even like get 10% HP and like only lose 10% armor. Like you should definitely lose a little bit more physical armor than you gain in HP, just because you're.
I wouldn't be.
It's a buff.
I wouldn't be so like, iffy. Okay, if it was 40 armor and instead of 1840 it was 1900 or something, right?
Yeah.
And make her like that Tychus style tanky assassin type thing.
Yeah.
Which I feel like she's not. But I don't know. What do you think, Soken?
I'm always going to preface this. I'm just going to preface this before everything I say coming up, that I haven't played them yet. Probably don't know how I really feel about it, but my initial thought is that they keep. I know this isn't really technically a nerf. It's supposed to be like a evening out, right?
Yeah.
Or an adjustment, so to speak. But they just keep changing her, and I'm not sure. And she's like never like a first pick anyway. Okay, let's say you even call this a buff. Mm-hmm. It's not really of enough of a buff to make her viable still in my eyes.
It definitely makes her.
Kinda tilted. I was tilted when the Surge of Light at level 7 was nerfed.
Yeah.
I was pretty tilted at that, and then this happened, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm starting to get a little tilted that you keep touching her. It's like, I like her. I liked her the way that she was.
I definitely think she's nowhere near as niche as she was. Like, you only picked her in certain, like, okay, she's very, like, okay, auto attack, she's got blinds, she's got her trait, whatever, she's unkillable against those comps. How often were those comps coming up? Not a whole lot. She was super niche. I think she still puts out a lot of good damage that a lot of people underestimate against, even against non-auto attackers. Her Q build's actually pretty good. I like taking the Q build against mages. I just never took Cassia because she got deleted by mages.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's safer. Maybe you can... It's that Johanna thing where it's like she's maybe better in general. But, again, I don't know.
That's the goal, right? I think that's the goal of all they're doing. They're touching... in relation to armor, everything that they're touching, for the most part, they're making up in some other way. I just hope it doesn't hurt her. That's all I'm worried about, because I just love her so much. Cassia was one of my favorite heroes on release. First of all, I love the Diablo universe pre-Diablo 3. Mm-hmm. Diablo was my favorite franchise by far. And then bringing Cassie in, I was so stoked, and really took a lot of time to get good at her. And then I just don't want to see her get deleted. That's all. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So moving on to Phoenix here. He got a slight buff. His radius was reduced from 1.25 to 1.125, which now matches heroes like Stitches and Ragnaros. Phoenix was a thick boy. He was thicker than Stitches. And now he got a little adjustment. They made his hitbox smaller, so now things like the Haka's Tongue aren't as easy to land. I mean, I'm sure it's still going to be pretty easy. Stitch's hooks now aren't... I felt like he just ate so many skill shots just because of his size, and not because of, like, I got outplayed. It was just like, it just randomly hit me, you know? Like, okay, I just happened to... Johanna's hitbox in front of me was just small enough to where I got hooked instead of her, you know?
No, I agree, because he did get his life nerfed, his health nerfed, and his shields nerfed.
And in the range on his teleport and stuff.
Yeah, and all the ranges and everything are pretty much nerfed. So I feel like this is a good change. Even though he's already good right now, I still feel like it's a good change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played a lot of Phoenix today. I think I got like 5 games on him today. I haven't really like noticed the change. Like it's not noticeable to me yet, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's move on to Genji here. His cyber agility, his trait, his cooldown was increased from 12 to 15 seconds. That's his D, where he can like just kind of just hop over stuff or whatever. And then his level 1 talent, Agile Dismount, now increases the cooldown reduction from 7 to 10 seconds. I have always liked Agile Dismount. That's all I'm going to say.
Say that again. You kind of broke up.
Oh, I've always liked Agile Dismount at level 1. I thought it was a pretty cool talent. That's the one where like if you're mounted up and then you use your trait, the range on your trait is increased and it also reduces the cooldown. Like you're still at a 5-second cooldown, but
yeah, no, it's great. It's really good mostly on maps like Braxis where you can rotate over the wall super fast. But people still went e-build anyway, full e-build.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. They're tweaking his mobility a little bit. So now it's like, hey, do we still go Q build? Do we go E build, or maybe we take this agile dismount? Who knows? But cool. I still think he's broken. But
yep, same.
Yeah, I think I don't know. They're nerfing him pretty hard. Like they're constantly tweaking him. I feel like his win rate's going to definitely go down from it a little bit, like because people aren't going to be able to play as aggressive, and I feel like that's what they're removing a lot of his aggressive play style now, and playing him more like, hey, you need to like make sure you're going to get value out of going in first.
An opportunist instead of like an aggressor. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's like I like it because I think it's increasing the skill cap over time, and he's going to go in with things like Q build more and like Shingon and get value that way more so than just being like, I'm going to go E build and just dash everywhere. Yeah. Which I like to see. I always like when they increase the skill cap of playing heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the one thing is I'm sorry, I just don't like the design of Genji. Just his kit is just not fun ever. Like I don't care what they do to this hero, unless they remove the E talent and replace it with something else, it's not going to be fun. Like I've done it before. I've seen it done all the time on streams on Korean streams. I watch a lot of like Ballistics Hooligan. I watched Kyocha today on streams. Literally, I saw like a 4-man Genji wipe where everyone was like 10%, and then just it's like, dude, that's not fun. Getting deleted like that is not fun, and it doesn't happen with any.
But deleting people like that is a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, but it's not. It is not fun to play against, and I think that's their goal is like to remove the unfun aspects, right? But unfortunately, I think this hero is designed such that it's really hard to do that. You can kind of make it undesirable to be as aggressive as whatever with your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. He just still seems like flawed to me. I don't know. It's not fun to play against him.
Pick him up, dude. Maybe you should pick him up. Pick him up. Play him in your hero league.
Dude.
Play him in your games.
Yeah,
he's good.
The best way to learn how to counter a hero is to play him. Like I've said that before. I've played
15. I've played him a lot, but I just really don't like it.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Kel'Thas also had his radius decreased. Thank God, because he was pretty big. Maybe he'll be more viable. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We see some Kel'Thas at the midseason brawl after his most recent reworks, also including this change, and also the living bomb. His W, the damage over time was increased from 40 to 42. Interesting.
That's a significant change. Like it seems small. It seems small, but like when it scales over time, that's good damage.
They want you to take Ignite. They want you to take Ignite at 16. That's what they're telling you with this buff.
Or they're trying to debate their Kel'Thas into walking in more often and getting CC'd. I don't know. We'll see. I wonder why that got buffed. But
yeah, same.
Like what the reason?
It felt pretty good already.
Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go on to Maiev here. Her Umbral Bind, which is her W. The cooldown was increased from 12 to 14 seconds, a very big cooldown. And her Spirit of Vengeance, the E, her cooldown was increased from 10 to 13 seconds, and the damage was increased from 100 to 180, almost doubled. No longer, it has an adjusted functionality. No longer deals bonus damage to heroes. So if you hit heroes with it, it dealt extra damage. And instead, if you hit enemy heroes, you reduce the cooldown. Hits an enemy hero's cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds. I don't know if that cooldown stacks. So if you hit multiple,
it does stack.
So you can E through everybody and then E through them again.
Yep, I've seen it happen on streams.
Okay. Well, that's what they want to do. I think that's cool. I don't like using that as like poke damage. I like using it as like the initiator. I'm going in. I got that cooldown. I get that nice umbral bind on everybody. I'm getting my Q resets on everybody. I set my team up, and you can use it again. Who knows? You can use it to escape after the fact, or you can use it to maybe go back in, maybe not, because Umbral Bind cooldown was increased. So, I don't know. What do you think, Aurumis?
I think it's a nerf to her overall, but I think it's gonna add like a cool aspect to her play. Like I know you, like you said, you want to go in with your E, and like that's really what you're looking to do with it. But I think if you have it as a form of poke, it gives more incentive for the enemy team to like walk away from it. Because before it was like, if it hits me, it's whatever, and then you'd stand there, she'd E, you'd get hit by the W, and you're like, all right, I'll worry about it now. Like if that thing starts to hurt, you're gonna move out of the way, and I think that's gonna incentivize people to, when moving away from that, be out of range of her W. They're gonna be a lot more aware of like Maev's cooldowns now.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty interesting, but I think it's gonna hurt her like overall engagements. Obviously, like her W is pretty much everything, and increasing that cooldown by a pretty significant amount, another extra 2 seconds, is definitely gonna be a slight nerf. And then even her blade dance, like her level 4, reducing that area of effect is gonna make her life a little bit harder. But I think she's still gonna be in a good spot. I think she's still gonna be able to do like a lot of damage, and I think giving her a little bit more poke allows her some more viability in different situations where she might not have been as pickable before. But we'll see how it
Get
plays
this
out.
conspiracy hat coming in right now. Hear it
Let's
from
do
me.
it.
They want her to be more of a viable solo lane because the E change with the damage allows her to actually clear waves now.
Interesting. It did. The damage did get increased a little bit. Yeah. So maybe.
It's a baseline change, and I've seen people on the PTR before this balance patch that just came out. That the PTR also includes this balance patch. I've seen people clear waves with it. It's like actually pretty significant in my eyes. Yeah, because that was her biggest thing when she has 0 wave clear, right? I mean, you can fan and knives a wave, but then that's kind of it for a while.
You would EWQ. That was your wave clear. But they also reduced the area of effect from her Blade Dance level 4 talent from 4 to 3.5. If I'm not mistaken, that's the one where the little stars would fall from the sky.
Yeah.
So now that's like a tighter radius. No longer is it spreading to your whole team. You know, maybe it's spreading to one less person. Good change, because it's one of those. Yeah, really hate to, like, you're giving her resets and you're like the one in the back and you're getting hit by the stars and you're like, dude, why am I getting destroyed by this? This really sucks. But I like it. Decent change.
Does no one agree with my solo lane assessment, or?
I
agreed.
I think
Yeah.
she'd be good. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I think she.
I thought I said something. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean we kind of were just like, oh, okay.
No,
Yeah,
no.
no, I think like she's definitely gonna have a lot more wave clear now, which is gonna be good, and especially like if you could clear those wave click and just like have a quick rotation to the mid lane, like after you reduce that cooldown, you'll be allowed another engagement, which will be pretty cool.
Yeah. Cool. All right, level Lunara, she got changed as well. Her Nature's Culling trait, the bonus damage done to non-heroes. Non-heroes includes bosses, mercs, minions, structures, immortals, cores, everything that isn't a hero. The bonus damage was reduced from 150 to 125%. So now it's maybe an extra auto attack per minion in the wave. And then her Choken Pollen was damage was changed. The bonus damage against enemies who have 1 stack of Nature's Toxin increased from 50 to 75%. And then if you have 3 stacks, the damage is increased from 100 to 125%. What do you... People in EU are saying that Choking Pollen is the way to go over Splintered Spear.
What?
So, I don't know.
Wow.
I thought Splintered Spear was just good. But yeah, they're saying Choking Pollen is the way to go in EU. But then, I don't know. Then again, they didn't think Maiev was that good. They didn't respect her. But what do you guys think of these changes here?
I've been playing Lunara a lot, and I would say, sure, you can nerf Nature's Calling. A lot of people were saying it was kind of OP. I still am not sure it brings it in line with the rest of the talents. I feel like you maybe still needed to buff, not the Siphoning Toxin one, but the other one slightly. And then this level 7 one is also just bringing that in line without blatantly like hardcore nerfing Splintered Spear. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. So that's just me.
Yeah, I think Choking Pollen's gonna be a pretty viable talent now. Nature's Culling is still definitely the pick. Like it's so good everywhere. Like I was playing
nice.
Lunara today, and like it makes her a viable hero because she allowed some wave clear.
It's
Yeah.
really nice.
I
Nexus Trolling is really nice.
It is really nice. However, I don't know if this is at 4 or at 7. There's an auto attack talent. What is it called?
One.
That's at 7, I'm pretty sure.
Is it at 7? Okay, like that actually deals a surprising amount of damage up front to like squish your targets, even against some tanks. Early on, it's like, whoa, this single target damage is actually kind of, ooh, it's kind of hitting hard with the poison, but yeah.
Yeah, that's the auto attack build. Increases the damage of the next four basic attacks, right?
Yeah, what is
By
that? What
50%.
is that?
That's called Wild Vigor at level
Wild
7. That is
Vigor,
the
okay.
So when this first came out, I gave you the Beg for Mercy builds, the 2 builds.
Mhm.
There's the auto attack build, and then there's the poison spread build, and that's part of the auto attack build. Is that the four damage ones? It's nice for like melting tanks and stuff.
Yeah. All right, cool. Moving on here. Let's try to speed it up here. Varian, same thing. His health was as the other warriors. His health was increased, and then the passive armor that you get from taunt was removed. But you also get an extra 5% bonus. So instead of 25% maximum health bonus increase by picking taunt, it's now 30. This for me makes Varian kind of scary. Like he's got a lot of HP. He can set up a lot of kills. He's gonna be hard to kill. Even like I felt like the armor thing was never. I don't know. The armor thing for me was like whatever, but having that extra health for me and then being able to mitigate all the damage that he takes anyways from his protect is pretty scary. It makes him a viable pick, I think, in more scenarios. I don't know. What do you think? Aurumis is over there rolling his eyes like he doesn't think so.
It's something else right now. Don't worry.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. I like the changes overall. Like I think a lot of the changes in this patch were well needed.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I think it's just like we already said, right? The design thing they just said. So they're just evening them out. And and also, by the way, this is not only a readjustment to the taunt spec, it's also a buff to the non-taunt specs.
He does have more health, yeah.
Yeah, he just has more health generally, and then also gets more from taunt. So, and that was something they wanted to do, was buff the other specs. They had said that before, so.
Yeah. Cool. Zagara got some changes, mostly in the way she scales. Real quick, the creep tumors, the health got reduced, the base health got reduced, so now you can actually kill him with an ability instead of like an ability like 3 auto attacks or something. The Nidus network also the Nidus had its health reduced as well. The Hunter Killer, the W, her Hydralisk, it's a Hunter Killer. The health was decreased, so you can kill it faster in lane. However, it becomes tankier in the late game, and it deals more damage in the late game, and it's also faster. The later the game goes, the more damage she's dealing. Her E, Infested Drop, the same thing. They reduce the health in the early game, but in the later game, it deals more damage and has more health. And then the Devouring Maul, the ticks from 80 a second to 88 a second. Zagara, low-key, is actually... Oh, and they also changed some other thing. Corpse Feeders, her level 1 talent. The damage reduction, this is her E talent. The damage reduction from non-heroic sources is increased from 40 to 50%. So now your Roachlings have 50% armor against structures. They can tank more and help push the lane. And then her Brood expansion at level 7, which reduces the cooldown of her Hydra, the Hunter Killer, was increased from 6 to 7 seconds. And it also reduces the Hunter Killer's mana cost by 30, so you can spam those things out. Corrosive Saliva, the damage increase. That's a giant killer on the Hunter Killer, on the Hydra, is increased from 2 to 2.5% of the target's maximum health. By level 16, Zagara, if you're going this build, is dealing a lot of freaking damage. So much.
Insane,
it's
dude.
Insane.
It's literally insane.
It's the early game. Her laning is, it's still kind of annoying, but you can deal with it. But man, her team fighting in the late game is actually kind of sick.
I've just seen a bunch of screenshots of top Zagara damage in like all the discords I'm in, I just see I was Zagara, and you used to look at it's like 100k damage, it's like 75k damage.
Her win rate
like
went up.
Damage.
Her win rate went up by like 5% after this patch.
I mean, this is a flat buff in my opinion. This is straight.
Yeah.
This is not a readjustment. Don't get it twisted. This is not a readjustment.
This is a buff.
This is a buff. A team fight buff.
Yeah. There's a bunch of really big changes, which is super important. Like, I think she's gonna be really viable. You're gonna see a lot of her now, especially in Hero League.
Yeah, she's gonna be in the solo lane. She's gonna be in the solo. Like, there's another ranged hero in the solo lane. You're gonna see her in the solo lane. She's no longer a liability because of how weak she was in the late game. But yeah, now she can solo lane fine, and she can team fight pretty
she's
well.
Not even in solo. I saw games today where she was in the 4-man.
That's crazy. That's wild to me.
And they're just creep everywhere. You have vision. You could see all of your enemies' movements in the 4-man. You can chunk them out. I mean, it's insane. It is literally really oppressive. She's a lot more oppressive now than she ever was.
All
from
right.
From what I'm seeing on streams.
Oriel got some nerfs. Her health was reduced. Her health regen was reduced. And then the amount of damage that she does on the outer portion of her Q was reduced, but the inner damage was increased by a little bit. She kind of came out strong after her last buff on her E, and now a lot of people will overstep to get those whips, and now this is saying like if you overstep, we're gonna kill you. I think it's a decent balance change. It forces a different mentality in a lot of different players. But Brightwing, her Soothing Mist, the heal amount was increased from 109 to 112, and her Blink heal also got a buff.
Yeah.
You played Brightwing today, Soken.
I just played it right before the stream, actually.
What do you think?
I did not choose Blink heal, just because I don't like Blink heal. I feel like a heal bot. I don't like that. I like utility, and the Emerald Winds provides a lot more utility than Blink heal ever will in my eyes. Just from the flat healing increase, and then also the blink, the Zing in, the teleporting in, and then splitting a team in half is like far more important to me. But that's just my personal play style. But I felt great. I love Brightwing regardless of this buff, and now I think I can actually pick her in Hero League because of this small buff. To be honest.
Definitely. Cool. Yeah, I think she's kind of like, okay, Malfurion's really good. He's still a good support. Brightwing kind of does some of that. She's got a polymorph. She can give some spell armor, and she has those little blink heals on such a short cooldown. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's better. Maybe she's more viable with different composition. Now that we have warriors that have they don't have baseline armor anymore, or Cassia doesn't have baseline armor, or her armor got reduced. Maybe she's a better pick in those scenarios.
That's actually a really good point that you brought up, because like now if you think about it, like if you're healing 10 HP, are you healing 10 HP or are you healing more? Because you have what's called effective hit points, right? And that takes into account your armor and everything else. So when you're healing for 10, if let's say a hero had 50 armor just base, which that didn't happen, but let's say they had 50 armor base, you're really healing for 15.
Yeah.
When you heal for that 10.
Yeah.
So
definitely big difference.
I think this is good. I think these readjustments are nice. Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah, I think we need to do it. Actually, I think it's necessary.
Yeah.
Do you think
There'll definitely be a lot more Brightwing play? Yeah, I think we'll see more.
Yeah, I would like to see more healing output coming out because of the armor reduction on some of these warriors, but I don't know. We'll see. Speaking of healing increase output, Stukov, his bio kill switch got buffed from healing 435 to 450. Thank God. Now he actually heals, and the healing pathogen per tick was increased from 35 to 37. I think this has to do with, okay, he dropped off a little bit after those hard hitting nerfs. They adjusted the warriors. We gotta put some more. He doesn't have like the armor. He doesn't have armor talents. It's all flat healing and disruption. Let's give him some love. I like it. I like Stukov.
Same.
All right, and then real quick, we'll just Anubarak. His spell armor was removed. He got health increased. His Hardened Carapace mana, the W mana was decreased, and now you get 40 spell armor while your Carapace is active. I haven't played with it yet, but it seems kind of cool. Like, you see that Blizzard coming, you can pop the W real quick, get some spell armor, stay in a little bit longer, deal some damage, provide some control.
So we can kind of skip over the next couple of warriors just to give the general idea of what happened to them when we get there. But I just want to say, so I saw Alex the Progi play some Manubrac today, and what he was doing was that he, with this new spell buff, spell armor buff on the W, you take the kite, I think it's called Kiteness or something like that, at 7. The one that basically, for the amount of hits that happen to you during your uptime, you get CDR.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so he was 1v1ing a Li Ming, and it was hilarious because what she would do, she'd magic missile, right? You let all 3 hit you. You bring up your Carapace right before it hits you. You let all 3 hit you. You're at a 1 second CD. After that.
And it's more beetles out too, actually, if you think about it.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of nice. Now, he did say, like, I'm not sure this is actually good, but it's fun to play with, is what he said.
Yeah, it could be pretty mana hungry in the long term.
Yeah, it can. That's for sure. I wonder how that's going to work with the other shield talents, like the speed, Shed Exoskeleton, and then the one that deals AoE damage around you. I forget what it's called.
Urticating Spine at level 13.
Yeah.
Dude.
It could be cool.
I totally forgot about that talent. That's going to be broken.
It could be good.
Just...
Arthas had his base physical armor removed. Rhyme, the level 1 block talent, got a buff from 60 armor. Instead of giving 60 armor block, and now gives you 75 for 3 stacks. Pretty good talent.
Real quick note. Something that I know. I doubt any Blizzard people are listening, but if you ever see this, please remove the cast time on his Q. For the love of God, that is like one of the worst things about this hero. You're like trying to either Q someone to death or heal yourself, and you stop mid-walk, cast your Q, and then you die.
Yeah, because it has to come back to you.
It is the worst feeling having a cast time on your Q. Just leave it. That's the only thing.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway.
All right. Diablo got some pretty nice changes. He got a health increase, regen increase, and an auto attack speed increase. His Q, now Feast on Fear. That's whenever you Q'd or eat somebody, you stun somebody. You got health regen. They increased the regen healing per second 4% over 3 seconds. So now you get that healing faster. Devil's Due. They buffed Devil's Due, and they also buffed all his level 1 talents. Level 4, he now gets 20 armor whenever he wallbangs somebody, and then after getting, it's 20 armor, and then once you have 100 souls, that increases to 40 armor. Pretty solid. And Souls to the Flame, the healing was also increased from 1.25 to 1.3. Now, a lot of the sustain is, like, because he is so tanky, he's able to sustain himself better rather than relying on the support. Now that he doesn't have that armor, he can heal himself. And then Devastating Charge, initial bonus damage bonus was reduced from 100% to 80%. But now I think you get more maximum damage when you finish the quest, right? They say that he's been underperforming since his rework. I just think people just don't know how to play him. But they kind of just buffed his old play style, if anything.
Yeah.
He's dealing... I played against the Diablo just before doing the show here, and he was wallbanging some people. He was chunking people, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. He hasn't been out for very long.
Yeah, it's been a week, right? Is it
basically
2 weeks? A week?
Two.
Has it been 2?
Yeah.
I think it's been 2 already.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Definitely
it goes
feel
quick.
like it.
It does go. Yep, been 2. Yep.
All the tank mains are okay with him, though. That's the thing. That's the funny thing. I don't know.
I mean, now they're like, okay, I'm going to wallbang you again. I don't care. We can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garrosh.
It took some time to get used to.
Yeah. Garrosh has some cooldown adjustments. His Q cooldown was increased from 7 to 8 seconds. That also, so that's no more. That's not as much CC, and that's also not as much sustain. He has baseline armor. It's straight. You know, if you go with the shield talent, people are taking the shield talent on Q, so that's less sustain in team fights over time. And then his level 16 mortal combo. That's if you Q somebody or E somebody after Qing or Q somebody after Eing. You got cooldown reduction. People weren't taking that, but now they buffed it. Now you get a cooldown reduction from 7 to 9 seconds. He's still a good hero. I don't know. I think he's still going to be pretty insane. He just stops a lot. Today. He stops a lot of aggression.
Today. You don't really notice the changes on his cooldowns too much, honestly.
Yeah, like, I think it's good.
What
were you gonna say? So, Aurumis?
Yeah, sorry.
I said like in all my games today, I really didn't notice like that he was even changed whatsoever. Like he played pretty much the same, performed pretty much the same. So.
Yeah. Cool. Johanna, we already talked about a little bit about this. Her base armor, physical armor was removed. She got health increase, health regen increase, and then now at level 1, if you go reinforce, before you used to get 50 armor while your shield was up, now you get 75, so it makes her even tankier. And like that talent also reduces the cooldown, right? Of your.
No.
No.
Level 1, you have 3 options. You have Laws of Hope, which just gives you HP, and then HP regen passively.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Then you have Reinforce, which when you use an ability, it will give you some armor.
Oh, okay. Is it physical armor or baseline armor?
It's physical. It's physical. Wait, is it?
I think it's baseline. Let me check.
Or it's like flat. It's like flat armor, right? Instead of physical.
Yeah, it's the.
I don't know. I think it was physical. Physical armor.
There's the Reinforce, which is basically block. Then there's Hold Your Ground, which is the Iron Skin shield, and reducing the cooldown.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Reinforce is actually too good to give up now ever.
Really?
This is nuts.
I think it depends. I think it depends on how much CC the enemy team has and how much burst they have. If they have a lot of CC and a lot of burst, I think you go the other one.
Like Laws of Hope, like kind of just got buffed. Now that you get the % heal off that.
That's true.
Like it just got a 10% buff essentially because of the HP buff that she got. So I don't know. Yeah. Especially knowing like Reinforce, like your level 1 gives you it was buffed to give you 25% more baseline armor now from 50 to 75 to like make up for where she loses physical armor. So I don't really think you need Reinforce as long as you're playing with Laws of Hope and your I don't know.
I guess that's a good point. I didn't realize Laws of Hope was a percentage.
I mean it's weird. I mean like, Reinforce is super good now because like she becomes like invulnerable for a little bit, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like 75 armor is a lot.
It is. But and it's funny, they gave this to her and took it away from people like Cassia who had 65.
Yeah.
Well,
pretty crazy, dude. 75 is a lot, man. That's a lot.
Yeah.
75%.
We'll see. I mean, it makes Johanna better against mages now, which is pretty good. Because like she got a little bit of HP buff. Obviously, like Laws of Hope's gonna partner well with that, and she's a little bit worse against auto attackers. But like you could pick that Reinforce still, and then really hold your ground. So I'm conflicted on the level 1 talent. I want to see them both. I'm probably actually gonna go into a couple unranked games tonight and tomorrow and like play test it. I think like I think this is a buff overall for her, just because of how tanky she is baseline. Like 190 extra HP is quite a lot, especially when you're partnering with like her level 1 shield and things like that, or like her baseline shield, her D and stuff. So we'll see.
Right on. Cool. There's a couple bug fixes and things like that, but you guys can look at the patch notes. It's in our show notes, also on the Battle.net launcher. Check those out as well. But all right,
the Diablo fix.
Yeah. Cool. Let's move in real quick here for our Hero League report. We'll talk about our gaining insight. We'll breeze through these real fast, and then that'll be it. All right. So Hero League report. Let's start off. Soken, how was your Hero League?
Why me, dude?
Cause I'm curious. I want to know how you're doing, dude.
All right. I played 4 games. I played them on stream. I think that was Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
I went 0-4. I played my 3 Malf. I played 3 Malf games. I lost them. I mean, how do I put this? All games were winnable.
Yeah.
Do I believe that there's something I could have done to like win the game specifically in any instance? Not necessarily. there was a game on Volskaya that I chose Tranquility, and I probably should have taken Twilight Dream.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was so tilted. That was like my most tilting game because that was like a clean win. That was easy. We were 16-13 on Volskaya. I mean, come on, that's easy win.
Yo,
And-
I've seen a lot of games lately, just my games or even like streamers where the games are like that and they just throw for some reason.
Dude, it's crazy. No one on my team. Luckily, they kind of listened to me in the beginning. I was like, Gaz, go bottom. You're the solo lane. Because we had a Gazlo, and then we had a Chromie who just stayed top most of the freaking game, just to kill the fountain, dude, on the top lane. I was like, oh my god, you're killing me. And then, okay, this is where everything turned. We had a team fight over the objective. My Diablo turns the Garrosh overpowers him into me. And then I get taunted in the middle of the Garrosh.
Feels bad.
And that happened. There was that, and then there was the fight after that, which is when we lost the game, where they just let Aaliyah walk by everyone and entomb me in a silence entomb. They just let the warriors walk up to me, and I died. And I was under a keep, dude. Like there's just it's like
Hero League,
sometimes,
baby.
man, you just feel so helpless.
Hero League, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but what?
it's all cesspool.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean,
But anyway, in terms of my performance, I felt like I made some plays. I was actually really happy about my play. I made some mistakes, clearly. Like I watched all the replays, so I know. I'm very good at analyzing myself, like knowing when I made a mistake, as opposed to like some people are like, well, if this guy didn't do this, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I'm looking at myself most of the time, and I know when I made some mistakes. One was that there was a boss play on Sky Temple where I didn't think we should engage, and then they did. And if I was there, we actually would have like snowballed the game and actually probably could have won off of that. But I was like, oh, they're not going to actually go. And I went mid lane to soak some XP that no one was soaking, because all game no one was soaking. And then they just like traded 2 for 2. And even though they got the boss, the other team got the boss, we traded and we were behind. So that's always good. Anyway, I felt like it was not the worst in terms of like I could have felt a lot worse about the games, but it was sucky losing all 4 games in a row. I will say that.
yeah.
I did play a game right before stream though, a Hero League game on Braxis. I first picked Jaina on Braxis for the wave clear. And
That was
I
a
just
Hero League game. Oh.
Yeah, I destroyed, dude. I destroyed.
Okay.
And got MVP, baby.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're playing Hero League again, dude. I'm glad you're getting into
Yeah.
it, and you learned something. Like today, I learned that people, even in Masters, don't understand how to look at the minimap. And I'm not saying looking at the minimap like, hey, be careful, they're going to come gank you. But, hey, we're mid lane on Infernal Shrines under our fort. Their Kel'Thas is way over here next to our keep. Let's go kill him. Oh, no. Let's go try to kill this Diablo and this Sonya instead. And it's just like,
that happens all the time.
come on, dude. Come on. But also, people say, hey, let's get in voice comms. They get in voice comms, but still don't necessarily
Don't say anything.
Well, no, they'll say stuff, but they'll make decisions that shouldn't be made. For example, ETC stage diving away from his squishy backline into their backline, and then we just get obliterated by their Diablo, and it's just like, he's like, well, I was stage diving the backline. Bro, do you not see that we have a Malfurion, we have a Lunara, we have a Li Ming against that comp? It's hard, and people just like, hey, get him voice, but they don't say anything.
like-
I had to get him voice, and I started shot calling, and they just didn't listen. They were like, oh.
Yeah, same with me.
Voice makes it easier, but doesn't make people learn more. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to call anybody out, but there's certain individuals who have like over 800 games played this season and are hard stuck like Diamond that I was in games with toward the beginning of the season when I like just placed, and they would pick like not sound barrier on Lucio and justify it on voice.
Oh, that's harsh.
And you know what, like,
and they know who they are, and like there's gonna be people like that at every tier. They're gonna be there in Diamond. Like You see them in Master too. Like,
Yep.
like we talk about it every time we have this, that there's plenty of Master players who are going to pick what they want and do what they want. They'll be in voice, they'll talk to you the whole time, but it doesn't help their questionable decisions.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's, I guess, like that, you gotta kind of have to accept it a little bit. Like if they're not gonna make that effort to improve or be critical and understand, and they're just gonna queue up for the net and just grind and just play, okay, fine. But you know, we're not about that here. We want everyone to be critical of themselves and learn and how they can be a better person, not a better person, but a better player, and maybe even a better person. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You guys all suck.
Well, no, just being more open. Like,
Yeah.
if you're open to your own criticisms and like realizing, like, it's something that applies out of the game too. Like, if you could be open to like looking at yourself and reflecting on like how you could do just things better in your daily life, like, it's the same way you're reflecting in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, just always look to get better. Like, that's how you're gonna improve every day.
Yeah, and you touched on it a little bit, Aurumis, but you did pretty well for your Hero League games.
Yeah, this week I started out, I think I was at like 4,500 points. Got to 6,000 before the stream started. I think I played like probably about 20 games this week. I lost about like maybe 8 of them, 7 or 8, and won the rest. I'm still sitting at around like a 60% win rate in Hero League this season, which is really high. I think I've been doing pretty well, like 250 games with a 60% win rate is looking pretty good. I unfortunately couldn't play Chromie this week, so that hurt my win rate a little bit. I think Chromie I got like an 80% win rate with over like 40 games in Hero League this season. She's definitely one of my.
Did you play some Gul'dan? Actually, we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
All
right. Cool. All right, let's move on here to one of our last segments, gaining insight.
My mind is clear.
All right.
My mind is clear.
Whoa, I played it again on accident. My bad. So you get to hear Kerosene twice. All right. So real quick, this was a question that Hero Physio, the coach of LFM Esports HGC team, asked in Discord. If you guys want to ask your own questions, you can do so on Discord, on Twitter. You can email us. But he asked, how many games does it take to quote unquote master a hero? What happens when they're patched, reworked? How many more games? What about the introduction of new heroes or other reworked heroes that change the dynamic of their interactions? I'm going to shorten that all down. We're going to condense it into one question. How many games does it take to master a hero? And I'll give you my answer. I think mastering a hero doesn't mean getting them to level 5 or level 15 or 100. It's when you're mastering a hero, when you're telling yourself, am I mastering this hero? You have reached this point of understanding in the hero that you know what they can do, you know what they can't do, you know what their weaknesses are, and you know how to play them in different styles. And you always seek to perfect it. You're always seeking to perfect it. Even though you think you're a god at him, you're always looking for ways to perfect that playstyle and that hero. I think when you've reached that mindset of always chasing to be perfect with that person, with that hero, with anything, then you are seeking mastery, and you have mastered that mentality. You're never going to be the best at it. You're never going to be perfect at it, but you're going to be a master at understanding and developing and improving that kind of play. But that's just me.
Damn, that's just general philosophy right there.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Philosophy of life.
How many games does it take to master a hero?
You can go, Armis.
Honestly, 0. It doesn't take any games to master a hero. And I say this in a weird sense. If you watch enough replays, like there's been plenty of times where I haven't touched a hero. Like I won't play them for the first like week or 2 that they're released. I'll wait for them to go to 10K gold, and like I'll watch them. I watch them in my games. I watch them on stream. I watch videos and tutorials and talent guides and everything. But my first game playing that hero, I can play it on a master level. I've watched enough. I've played enough similar heroes. I know how to click my buttons enough that I truly understand the hero from just watching it being played over and over and over again, to where before I even play it, I have probably more experience than most people who are actually playing the hero. And honestly, like Goon was saying, it's really just understanding. It's how you see the hero being played, how you understand what counters it, what it's good against. If you're playing against the counter, how you can still perform well, how you're not just going to get beat into the ground. Like a big thing that people talked about was like how to play Lucio like against like old taunt variant. And like there was ways where like you could do it, just like mastering your boops, understanding the timings and things like that. And you don't need to play to understand how to do all that. I mean, I was watching Cure play the other week on stream, and he said like one of his biggest grievances in the game is that when like on their tournament accounts, the heroes didn't come at level 5, so they can't just jump into Hero League playing whatever hero they want. And he was like, I'm a grandmaster professional player that can't play Arthas in Hero League right now, even though I've played him in the HGC. It's like, yeah, maybe he doesn't play Arthas much, but he understands the hero from seeing him in scrims, from watching him, from like practicing with him once in a while, that he doesn't need to be level 5, level 10, level 15, whatever on the hero to play him at a mastery type level. It's because he has a deeper understanding of the game and what all these heroes have to provide. And I feel like that doesn't come in the form of playing the game as so much as understanding it. I think if you want to say like, hey, I want to know how to hit my skill shots better, like for example, like how to know how to judge the range of like a Greymane cocktail, or like how to keep his W up from clicking your buttons better, or like making sure you're like just managing those cooldowns, just hitting your skill shots. Like it takes probably like about a couple thousand games of playing HOTS to just understand what skill shots look like in general. And then after that, they're pretty much almost all the same with slight range adjustments. Like Bala's Q, Genji's E, like they're all the same thickness. They just have a difference in range. Like if you could hit one, chances are you could translate that to hitting another pretty well, as long as you adjust for the distance, which is pretty simple. Like it's pretty easy to do overall. So like I would say a few thousand games to just understand like basic mechanics, basic skill shot accuracy. Beyond that, everything is understanding of the hero, which is done in replays, it's done in patch notes, it's done in podcasts like this, where you gain understanding outside of just clicking your buttons. And that's true mastery, in my opinion. It doesn't take any amount of games to do that.
Wait.
My mind is clear.
Sorry, I had to play the Kerosene clip one more time.
My mind is very, 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 very clear.
All right, go ahead, Soken.
By the way, I kind of would like to start reviewing replays on our stream at some point. I think that's cool.
I said that. I called that last week.
We'll do. We'll remove some of these segments so we don't go to 4 hours, but
yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of the opposite. It's kind of funny. Obviously, we got these many different angles because we're all different players and stuff. I've played thousands of games. I'm not. Unfortunately, I wish I was like that. I just have to grind. Regardless of the hero, man, I just got to play it and feel what it's like in the moment. Like, oh, that playing against a Jaina does not feel good. Like, obviously, clear, I'm playing a melee hero, clearly not going to be good against Jaina, but yeah, like, you have to confirm, to me, I have to confirm that in my own head. I do watch a lot too, so I know the builds right away. I'll go like, okay, I'm going to try this build. I'm just going to keep trying this build. I don't even care what situation I'm in. I'm just going to do it. And then I'll go, okay, maybe I can adjust here or here, something like that. I'm just a grinder, man. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm not naturally talented. I know that sounds like a really weird criticism or something probably, but there's nothing in my life that I've ever just been able to like do well right away. I've always had to like really understand it, really play it or do it.
You've been my friend. Well,
Cat.
Oh.
By the way, he said he's a grinder, not that he's on Grinder. All right, that's two different things. Kappa.
Grinder, that mobile app, is that what you were saying?
Yeah,
I didn't broke up. But yeah, so that's just kind of my play style / learning style, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
How many games does it take you? Like what? Like a rough number? Like what do you say? Like makes you hit that comfort spot for you personally?
Oof. It kind of depends on the hero too, but I'm just gonna say on average about 20 games and I'll feel pretty comfortable. 20 games and I'll feel pretty comfortable on a hero. It depends too, because like some games or some heroes are more mechanically demanding than others. Yeah. It took me a long time to understand Greymane. I mean, Greymane is very mechanically very mechanically like demanding. So you're constantly like stutter step, stutter step, stutter step. Okay, I need to know, not only I need to be stutter stepping the whole time, I need to know when I can go in. Oh, okay. There's times I want to go in. I don't actually want to commit. I'll queue out the other way. There's times I want to commit. I got to queue the other way. I mean, there's a lot to certain heroes. And then there's heroes like Gul'dan. Maybe I don't need to do that as much. I just maybe need to understand more positioning or like my when to use my corruption. So there's a lot of variables, but I would say on average about 20 games, and I'll be pretty good on a hero.
Okay.
Right on. Cool. All right, let's move on to our last segment here. Trolls Challenge.
Get good or get wrecked.
Get good or get wrecked. So last week we gave each other some challenges. We told Soken, I told Soken that he needed to play, or was that Aurumis? That was Aurumis told Soken you got to play 3 support games in your Hero League games, and he did. Soken did. He streamed them. You can catch check out his stream, his VODs. They were those games. I was like, ooh. Soken, we are not going to make you do that again.
I can't be doing that anymore in Platinum, man. I can't play support. Anyway.
Aurumis, I asked Aurumis to play to not play Chromie, anything but Chromie, any mages but Chromie. If he had to prioritize somebody, Gul'dan, if not Jaina or whatever. How did that go for you? I mean, hey, you did well. You didn't play Chromie.
Yeah, it went really well. I didn't play any Chromie games. I actually ended up playing a Kael'thas game. Got stomped that game, which was unfortunate. It was one of the few that I lost this week. I played a couple Jaina games, and I really haven't experimented much with Jaina because I'm always like, why pick Jaina when I could just one-shot somebody that's Chromie
from across the screen, right?
Yeah, from across the screen, which is great. And Jaina was interesting. Like, just being able to provide slows to the team, I thought was pretty cool. Like, it was just a different way to play a mage that I'm normally not used to. Mm-hmm. And I was still able to one-shot pretty well. Like, if I just QEW'd as fast as I could, threw them all out literally simultaneously onto a target, they disappeared. Body flew across the map. I was just laughing. I think I was actually on voice with Goon while I was playing it today, and I was laughing. I was like, Jaina, God, and somebody just disappears off the screen.
I'm definitely choosing her more, by the way. That game I played with her before the stream, opened my eyes, dude. It opened my eyes.
Nice.
Yeah.
She's really good.
I played a bunch of Li Ming games, and they went really well. I mean, Li Ming's usually a mage that I pick up quite often, so that wasn't much of a change for me. It was a couple moments where I was like, I really wish I have Chromie here. A few games on Infernal. One game on Braxis specifically, one of my losses. I was first pick, and I was like, ban Chromie, I can't play it. And they didn't ban it. The other team picked it, and dude just stacked off of us all game, and I was just like, oh, if I could
that could have been me.
Yeah, this could have been me. This is an easy win. That was the only Monka-esque moment I had where I'm like, you want to know something, Goon? You could take this challenge and stick it. but apart from that, it went pretty well. It was nice to play a bunch of other heroes all week. I actually ended up playing a lot of Phoenix as a substitute, which I don't know why I was putting I'm
There's
trying to think
two
about it.
different heroes, completely.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
They're so different, and going back, I'm like, all right, I can't pick Chromie here. Who do I pick? And on Braxis, all right, instead of Chromie, I'm gonna pick Phoenix. And I'm trying to watch my replays and really analyze why I picked Phoenix as a replacement for Chromie because of how different they are. I mean, damage wise, they can burst pretty hard with Phoenix's Q build. I can provide some slows there, but I'm trying to figure out what in my brain was telling me this is the right fit to replace that Chromie pick.
Yeah. I think I have an idea of why you feel good about it, and that's because of, you were saying earlier in the podcast, the prevalence of ranged heroes in the solo lane. So you could just first pick Phoenix, and it doesn't even really matter what your team picks.
Exactly.
You just either go solo lane or you go 4-man. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That too. And yeah, I mean, that was a big thing for me. It was not being able to say hey, I have no clue what to pick here. I'm just gonna one-shot people as Chromie because they don't know how to A-click properly. And I said to kind of think about the drafts in different ways for Hero League. But overall, a good week. I really enjoyed the challenge. I am excited for the next one.
Cool. And then for my challenge, Soken asked me to play more Ana. I played some Ana on the PTR with I tried to pair Ana and Jorel together because I figured, you know, Jorel provides a lot of healing utility, damage mitigation utility. Maybe I don't need a support that has to heal everybody up, you know, maybe denying healing, putting people to sleep or whatever. It was interesting. I would try to we won. It was pretty fun. It was cool. I was trying to nano boost Jorel to see if maybe it would like speed up the rate at which she like charged her abilities.
Oh,
But
That's interesting.
But it didn't. It didn't do that.
yeah.
It didn't
Now
do
it's
that.
less interesting.
But that makes sense though, because of the Genji. Remember the Genji thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't affect ultimates, so I guess why would it affect like stuff like that?
So then I was like, maybe it'll increase her self healing. I didn't really notice, and like, okay, she got her cooldowns faster, but again, it was one of those things where because she had to charge him up, it really wasn't that great in my opinion. So I ended up just nano boosting my other teammates instead. But I want to keep playing more on it. It was actually a lot of fun. I hadn't played Toucher in a very long time. I'm stuck on Malfurion, dude. Malfurion is my boy.
Dude, I saw you making some plays. Like you happened to get a double support on the other team as Ana.
Oh yeah, it was Ariel and Uther, and I was just like denying all that healing, dude.
Yeah.
Woo, it was so good. I'm like, I know this Uther wants to land that Q. I know. Oh, hey, I see that full hope bar, Ariel. Blam! You ain't healing nobody.
God, but I am.
Yeah,
Yep.
but it was cool. It was cool. All right, and the trolls out there, they met our challenge. They gave us three questions for the gaining insight this week. So cool. It was a good week for everybody. And I know some people play Hero League. Dorch, I saw you talking about Hero League. But all right, cool. Soken, what is your challenge for Aurumis this week? I can go if you want to think about it some more.
Just go. Yeah, you go first.
All right, my challenge for you, Soken, we're going to put you on some ranged, all right? And we're going to put you on a ranged hero that I know you like, and that will probably bring you some success in your Hero League games because of your understanding of macro. I want you to play Zagara. If you're going to play a ranged hero, it's going to be Zagara.
How about not that concrete? Not like I have to play Zagara
Okay.
if I get a ranged hero, but let's just say
If you need a solo laner, you're picking Zag. If you need a sustained damage, you're picking Zag.
Get a game in stream on her. Let's just do that. We gotta stream.
Yeah. Get at least one game. One game with Zagara. I know you like her. You haven't played her in a very long time.
No, I'm down.
Stream it. It's got to be streamed.
I'll try to get at least 2 games of Zagara in on stream.
All right, and then tell us how that went for you. And if you like it, maybe it's something you can use to climb. To climb. All right, cool. Aurumis, what do you got for me?
What I got for you? So, I got an interesting one for you.
Oh no! Don't do it. I already know where he's going.
His challenges in.
No, this one's gonna be brutal. You like supporting, and you also are very intrigued with all these tank changes. So, who's a good support tank? I thought in my head, and I was like, hey, Zarya seems pretty cool. I want to see you make Zarya work in some Hero League games on stream.
Dude, you used to love Zarya.
I used to love Zarya.
He did, and I wanna see him make it work for a game. I want to see where you want to put it in a draft. That's what I'm most curious about. Where are you gonna draft it? Play a Zarya game on stream this week.
Okay. Challenge accepted.
All right, I got one.
All right.
Since we're going back to the olden days.
Uh-oh.
It's not. I don't think it's actually that big of a deal. But I want to see, in a game where you feel that like people are going to communicate, because I don't want you to just do this in a game where people aren't in comms or whatever. Try and get the Lost Vikings to work. We don't really see the Lost Vikings anymore. And on the big maps, right, Cursed Hollow, I still feel like it can work. It's just people don't want to do it.
Okay. I could do that.
Do it on stream. Aurumis used to play so much Vikings.
I know, dude.
Play a lot of Vikings. Yeah, I could stream it. I will shot call and play Vikings one game. You could see how not only I can play Vikings and just like macro the Vikings or micro the Vikings, but also shot call the rest of the team at the same time. Show you how Vikings is really supposed to work.
Yeah, I'd like to. If you could get one good game where like people are talking and comms are like, okay, we're going for Zach now or whatever. You know, it's like that would be the dream. But if you could just play one, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to wait till like a 2 a.m. queue, and I'm just gonna get into some random GM. We're gonna get into some like random GM game I'm supposed to be in right now, and they're all in comms like hyping it up, and I'm just highlighting like Greymane all game, like, oh, this is a great pick. Then I was gonna like snap switch to Vikings and be like, get ready. And we're gonna do it from there.
Let's try to make it work though. Like if you know, if you're towards the later picks.
Oh, we gonna win.
Huh?
We gonna win. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right.
I'm trying to grind this GM out. I gotta get 1,000 points a day. I can't afford a Vikings loss. I can afford a Vikings win.
All right. And the challenge that I have for the community. This is an easy challenge. Easy challenge this week, guys. For anybody that's out there listening, watching, whatever the case may be, it is 7 June 2018. Next week, 14 June. My brother's birthday, by the way. I want somebody, it could be anybody, any player level, whatever, doesn't matter. Give me some, go play some Cassia. Give me some insight on what you guys feel about her after the changes. Give me your builds. Give me your play styles. Tell me what you think about how she should be played and what you did, what worked, what didn't work. And just, you know, you can tweet at us, you can DM us, you can go on Discord, whatever. Just give us a little something. I'm curious. I do want to play more Cassia, and I figure the more of us that are kind of playing around with her, the better. We can come to a better understanding for next time. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys, and I better see something. If I don't see anything,
dude, Cassie is so much fun. She's so much fun to play, man. That's not a hard challenge at all. It's fun.
All right, and with that being said, that is our show for this week. Thank you all for hanging out. It's been a long one. I know we're past 2 hours now. But before we leave, I do want to give a special thank you to our Chieftain, Super Dave and Preston, for pledging their support to the Trolls. And if you are interested in supporting us, patreon.com/trollsgg, go check it out. And a very special thanks to Schizo, who creates our wonderful thumbnails every week. Thank you so much for your time, your dedication, and your creativity. It's a lot of fun. I'm always excited to see what you come up with each and every week. Thank you all for listening to the Nexus Trolls, a Heroes of the Storm podcast, which we stream live on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/trollsgg, every week on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Aurumis, where can people find you?
Find me on Twitter at Aurumis_GG. Find me on Twitch this week for some Lost Vikings games at Aurumis8. Find me on Gamer Sensei. I'll throw the link in the chat one more time. I offer individual and team coaching through this website. If you use this promo code, get a little discount off of your first few hours. Let me know. I'll definitely work with you, prepare a big lesson plan. I ended up grabbing a couple students from the chat in the last few weeks, and it's been going really well for them. They've seemed to like it. So if you have any questions about anything too, like, let me know. I'm always open to answering questions. Make sure you're comfortable and everything like that. Want to see everybody improve.
Right on. Soken, where can the good people find you?
I am on Twitter at Soken GLHF. Hit me up there for anything you want to tag me in. Really, I'm up for the memes. I'm up for anything. Let's do it. And then I will stream my challenge, so I'll hopefully get in at least one game of Zagara this week in my Hero League games. Likelihood is I will stream it on Monday or Tuesday of next week. So hit me up on Twitch at Soken Gaming.
Right on. Right on. You guys can find me on Twitter at GOONHOTS, GOON HOTS. There I'll post memes. I'll meme in other people, you know, talking about HOTS, whatever. You can find all that stuff there. You can find out when I stream, when I go live on Twitter as well. And you can find a bunch of other stuff that I'm retweeting. I try to be very involved with like the amateur scene and different content creators and stuff like that and get people talking. You can also find me on Twitch at, not trolls.gg. You can find me there. But on Twitch at GOONHOTS, twitch.tv/GOONHOTS. Stream Hero League. I'll be streaming more Hero League more often. I just did a stream today before our cast here, before our show here. And I'll be looking to do that again. And also YouTube, GOONHOTS. I post some stuff there from time to time. It's a little slow. YouTube is a little weird. It's been kind of meh. Streaming is a lot easier for me to do. But yeah, you can see some stuff that I've done there in the past as well. Again, thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. If you like the show and you're looking for a way to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/trollsgg. Subscribe to our show on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you happen to find your podcast online. And you can visit our website at trolls.gg/TheNexusTrolls to watch this and past shows along with past video streams, which can also be found on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/trollsgg. For announcements about the show and general Heroes news, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter at TheNexusTrolls. Go there. We're posting stuff. We're memeing on each other. You'll know when Soken goes live, when Aurumis goes live, when I go live, when we post questions up there for people. And you can also send us questions as well at TheNexusTrolls. Go do it. Go do it. I challenge everybody to go follow that right now. Forget the Cassius. Go follow the Nexus Troll. I'm just kidding. And if you want to hang out with us in the Trolls community in the game, in Heroes of the Storm, you go into chat, /join, type in /join, space TrollsGG. You can see everybody that's online. You can get some games with fellow trolls, ourselves, and whatnot. And you can also join our Discord channel, trolls.gg/Discord. Good place. A lot of good stuff happening there. Finally, if you need to get in touch with us, the best way to do so is by email, and our email is thenexustrolls@trolls.gg. Guys, thank you for being on the show. I know it's been a long one. I know you guys got your stuff to do, but it's always fun. I always love hanging out with you guys and talking about HOTS. Chat, thanks for hanging out. Listeners, viewers, everybody, we really appreciate all the support that you guys give us and motivates us to keep doing this each and every week. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. But anyways, guys, until next time, take it easy, be safe, have fun, and go grind some Hero League. Peace out, guys.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.